Good afternoon. Oh, that was weak. Good afternoon. Okay. I can tell that a lot of you, or many of you, are probably weary from your travels. We've heard some of the horror stories of people having their flights bumped and getting in late, 4, 5, 6 hours late. But hey, I'm excited that you're all here. I am Bernie Yankoviak with Coffee Consulting, and on behalf of the U.S. Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration, Office of Apprenticeship, I welcome you to the Boston Action Clinic. And I am excited. And the reason I'm excited is that I had the privilege of participating in the 3 other action clinics that the Office of Apprenticeship sponsored more than a year ago in regions 4, 5, and 6. And I've got to tell you, I was able to experience firsthand transformation that took place in the groups that participated in the Action Clinic. We saw the transformation not just in terms of coming to a greater understanding of the work before us, of the work the partner organizations do and how we can come together, but also the fruit that the clinics bore when the teams went back home. We saw concrete evidence, so we can't help but be excited for you because we have the same expectations for this group, and I'm sure they will come to fruition. You've probably realized this already if you've taken a look in the agenda or you've participated in your telephone calls with your facilitators. This is not your typical conference. It's called an action clinic for a reason. You're not going to be sitting here as you would be at a typical conference as a passive listener. We're going to be asking for your active participation in this throughout. The bottom line is that when you leave here, and I think we got to look at the end goal, when you leave here on Thursday afternoon, each of the state teams will have created a concrete action plan with at least 1 or 2 positive steps, clearly defined objectives for advancing a registered apprenticeship and WIA partnerships and partnerships with other organizations such as economic development and education. And when you get in that first session, you may think, we're not going to get this done by Thursday, but I guarantee you, you will. We'll pick up the pace as we go along and as you feel more comfortable. The format that we're going to be following throughout consists of a balance between some plenary sessions and time in your team meetings. And the plenary sessions, we're going to be featuring speakers, I think some very dynamic speakers who you will really appreciate. We're going to be sharing promising practices. And the whole point of doing the plenary and then moving to the breakout is that we want the plenary to encourage your thinking. We want it to inspire your creativity and provide this underlying tone of collaboration and partnership. So I think the plenaries are going to feed what you're going to be doing in your state teams. We're even expecting our plenaries to be interactive. There's going to be ample opportunity for question and answers, discussions, report backs from the group. And we are going to have plenty of opportunity maybe to break down some erroneous misconceptions that people have about how partner organizations work or don't work. And that's going to be happening throughout. Also, something I'll mention is that you will have an opportunity to invite some of the speakers that you'll be seeing over the next couple of days to come into your team meetings. Maybe you have some questions for them, some detailed questions about how they went about implementing their particular program. And you will have the opportunity to do that, and the facilitators will work with you there. In a few minutes, we have some opening comments. But before we hear from our introductory speakers and our keynote speakers, I want to provide just a little overview of what we're going to be accomplishing this afternoon, and then also just do a few housekeeping items, review a few housekeeping items. Initially, we're going to have, as I said, the keynote speaker. We're going to have a panel on collaboration, which is really going to be very dynamic, and you'll have a chance to ask questions on that. And then we'll be spending the last hour and a half of the day in a peer-to-peer sharing, peer-to-peer sessions. Each team member, you've been assigned a state team, and hopefully you know your state team. You've also been assigned to a peer-to-peer group based on the type of organization you're representing, whether you're from higher education, K through 12, state workforce agency, organized labor. We found it very valuable to meet on the first day in these peer-to-peer settings to allow people to talk about some of the things they're doing with their partner organizations and maybe some of the barriers that they're experiencing to working with their partner organizations. And it's something that really is a rich feed for those state team discussions. So we'll be doing that. We'll have a short break just before we move into those. And we're going to have throughout the day here in the outside of the main ballroom, we're going to have coffee, juice, and sodas, and you can help yourself as we go along. An important question that everybody asks, particularly if they're drinking coffee, tea, and soda, is where are the restrooms? Most of you probably found out as you go out into the hall here, you make a left and go straight ahead, and you'll find the men's and women's restroom at the end of the hall. Throughout the conference, meals are going to be on your own. While we'll have liquid refreshments, we're going to, meals, as I said, will be on your own. Fortunately, this hotel is ideally situated. There are numerous restaurants located not only in close proximity, but actually under one roof. If you don't know this already, the hotel is connected to 2 malls. And the Prudential Center, which to get to it, you simply go out of the conference area here, make a right, and go down the hall, and you enter the Prudential Center. As you go through, and that mall is replete with many eateries, a food court, a lot of sit-down restaurants. As you get to the end of that mall, there's another one called the Copley Mall. And so it's really possible for you to walk several miles in here without even getting wet, without even having to go out. Another important thing is that tonight we're going to have a reception from 6 to 7. That's going to be at the Apropos restaurant right next to Starbucks in the lobby. That'll be a cash bar. It'll go for an hour, and it'll be another chance to network and socialize, etc. Well, with that having been said and getting through the housekeeping, I want to introduce right now our Region 1 administrator, and Holly O'Brien, who is just going to be giving us some welcoming remarks. Holly?